Jainism, everyone. Welcome to tonight's lesson on Introduction to Jainism. We've got Rajeev Shah joining us for the next couple of weeks due to Rajeev Shah being away. So I'll introduce Rajeev Shah to those who don't know him. Rajeev Shah is a graduate of King's College London, and he has postgraduate qualifications from Cambridge University and from Oxford University, including a master's in Jainology and comparative studies, and a gold medal from the Jain Vishwa Bharati University in India. So welcome, Rajeev Shah, and I'll hand it over to you.
Thank you very much for the kind introduction, Mira. Jai Jirendra, everyone. So for this week and next week, I'll be talking about the Sakalarhat Stotra. Now, I don't have any PowerPoint presentations done, but the talk is going to be based on, I'll just share my screen. It's based on a website. I've actually created prayers on the website itself. So I'll just share my screen with you. So if you just basically went into jaintreasures.org.uk, and then if you went into prayers and Sakalarhat Stotra, so this is where we're going to be talking about the Sakalarhat Stotra today. So Sakalarhat Stotra is actually a prayer in praise of the 24 Tirthankars. Now, as you know, that Logos Sutra is also a prayer in dedication of the 24 Tirthankars. So what you have actually in Logos is you have an introductory, a few lines, and then you've got Ussabha Madhyam Chavande Sambhavam Abhinam Dhanam Cha. So you've got a list of all the 24 Tirthankars coming in sequence, one after the other. In Sakalarhat Stotra, it's actually quite a long prayer. And it was composed by Kalikal Acharya Hemchandra around the 12th century. Now, what you have in Sakalarhat Stotra is after the first few introductory verses, then there is each verse for each 24 Tirthankar. Now, so for example, what do we mean by verse or couplet? So in Jainism, there are quite a few sutras or small verses. So for example, you could have said, Khamemi sabba jive sabbe jiva, kamantu me mitti me so bhuesu, veram majjam na kenei. So essentially it's two lines, and you can say that's a couplet. Or you could say, Sarva Mangala Mangalyam, Sarva Kalyanam Karanam, Pradhanam Saradharmanam, Jainam Jeti Sasnam. Again, kind of two lines. Or you could have Shivamastu Sarva Jagata, Parahita Nirata Bhavantu Bhutgana, Dosa Prayantunasam, Sarvatra Sukhi Bhavantu Lokaha. So in this way, these are couplets. They are kind of two lines, very short. And in Sakalarhat Sutra, you will have these couplets for each of those 24 Tirthankars. Now, Acharya Hemchandra composed a mammoth biography of 63 illustrious personalities, and that was called Trishashti Kalaka Purush Charitra. And prior to the beginning of this document, he composed Sakalarhat Stotra, eulogizing the 24 Tirthankars as Manglacharan. Now, this is very important. Now, as you know, in our day-to-day life, so for example, if we were in India, it is quite common that if people, or most Jains, if they want to start anything auspicious, like you have started a new offices or you bought a new home, you would tend to get some blessings from our sadhus and sadhvis. Even for example, if you're going for exams, you would, or if you're starting a new journey going overseas, it is very, very common to get the blessings, and generally sadhus and sadhvis will recite a mangalik to you. Now, if you are an acharya or a sadhu yourself, they themselves also sort of compose Manglacharan. And it's quite important to see that they're also seeking blessings, even though they are monks and nuns, for whatever task they are doing. So, for example, for Acharya Hemchandra, for him to start such a mammoth biography of 63 personalities, and it's a huge volume of book, he started this with an auspicious Sakalarhat Stotra, Manglacharan. And for example, you need these good blessings. For example, his health becomes good so that he can complete his task. You know, there are no natural calamities. There is no famine. So all these things, you are just seeking for blessings, divine blessings, that whatever task you want to start, that's going to go without any issues or any problems. So he composed verses 1 to 25, and then verse 27. This Sakalarhat Sutra has got about 33 verses. So the remaining other verses were composed by other acharyas later on. So it's also known as Chaturvimshat Jin Namaskar. Now, as we go along through, when I'm going to be explaining over the 2 weeks, what I really want to also emphasize is that many of us, you, me, we are not very knowledgeable of Gujarati, Sanskrit, Hindi. Many of us may know a few prayers, like, the Logas, Uvasagram, Namotthunam. And what I really would like to emphasize or portray through my talks is the beauty of the language. And, either it inspires us to learn the language, or it inspires us to teach our children, to learn Gujarati, because there's a lot of beauty within the prayers, which in Jain, all the Jain prayers. And what I will actually show is, and it's going to be so much joy for me. It's almost like a Sudoku or like a crossword puzzle. You might have learned a few things in one prayer, and then to use that understanding or that knowledge and apply it to another prayer and saying, oh, wow, that makes sense. I did not know what this meant, but now I can see the correlation of what this means. And so that's what I will try to emphasize as we go along through our talks. Again, if there's any questions, please do interrupt me as we go along. So it is called Chaturvimshat Jin Namaskar. Now let's think about it. Chaturvimshat. Chatur means 4, and Vimshat. Do you know what it means? Okay, let's just think about it. Okay, if I didn't know what it means, we say Vis, Visa Oshwal. So Vis means 20. So Chaturvims means 24. And Jin Namaskar. So you are doing a Namaskar to the 24 Tirthankar. So that's his other name. It's also called Brihat Chaitya Vandan. And this particular Sakalarhat Sutra is recited during Chaudas, Pakshik, Chomasik, Chomasik Chaudas ave tyare, or Samvatsari. So if you know, when we do these Pratikaman in the evenings, generally we do the Samayik. Then after the Samayika is done, we would be doing the Pachkan, whether apne Upvas kero hoy, ke Ekasnu kero hoy, ke Chovyar kero hoy. And then after that starts the Chaitya Mandan. So when you're doing the Chaitya Mandan during, as I said, Chaudas or Chomasik Chaudas ke Samvatsari, this Sakalarhat Sutra is recited. Now, what's also very, very interesting, and I thought that this prayer is quite important to give it to the kind of the Oshwal class, is that it's in praise of the 24 Tirthankars. How fortunate are we that Porter's Bar has actually got shrines dedicated to the 24 Tirthankars. So if you went to, say, Kenton Derasar, then there's a Mul Nayak. They don't have the murtis of the 24 Tirthankars. Even in India, some of the Tirthas have shrines of 24 Tirthankars. So, for example, if you went to Sankeshwar, the main murti would be of Sankeshwar Parshvanath Bhagwan. But then around the periphery of the temple, you have all the other Tirthankars there. But for example, if you went to Taranga, Ajitnath Bhagwan je Aku je Tirth che, then you just have the Ajitnath Bhagwans, but then there is no periphery of other 24 Tirthankars. So this particular prayer will be so interesting if you were to learn this, because, for example, if you're walking around Porter's Bar and you see the murtis of each of the 24 Tirthankars, you can start reciting each couplet for each Tirthankar. So as we go along, we will see that the main essence of the prayer is to eulogize the qualities of the 24 Tirthankars and seek blessings for our salvation. Now, before I go, what I plan to do today is actually to recite the Sakalarhat Sutra, and you may just literally close your eyes and listen to it. It's a very beautifully melodious sutra. Or what you could do is you could perhaps go to your own, go to the website and start following what I'm reciting, using it in English here. So if you can't follow the Hindi or the Sanskrit text, you could follow the English one. And if you were going to be doing this, let me just spend a few minutes to make you understand what it means. So if you say, for example, Sakalarhat, on top of the A, there is a line. And what that is signifying is, because generally in our Indian languages, we can say ke a. In English, if you just wrote A, you will not be able to distinguish. Like if you just wrote S-A-K-A-L-A, so is it Sakal or Sakala? So the line on top is actually designating that the word is a, not a. So Arihantanam is just a. But then if you say Acharya, then it's going to be A with a line on top. That sort of gives you the indication that the word is not a, but it's an a. So that's how you'll follow this. And the other thing which I want to explain to you is that there's a little bit of a difference in the phonetics. So for example, if I just, let me just go up slightly. So in the second line is Nama Kriti. So generally what tends to happen is when we learn our prayers, Gujaratis generally call that K with a small, this at the flicks at the bottom of the K is called R. So we say Kru. So apre say, like, for example, my son is called Rishikesh, but people in Gujarat will call Rushikesh. And there is a difference because people who are from North India or people who learn Sanskrit, that is actually called Ri. And whereas the Gujaratis have taken that as Ru. So there might be a slight difference in how people do pronounce this. So right now what I'll do is I'll just recite the prayer. And then the idea is in this first session today, we will go through a couple of verses and explain word to word what the prayer means. And then we will follow that by the next week to complete the remaining verses. So now, you just feel free to listen to the prayer, and you can follow it on the website if you wish to. Saklarhat Stanam Siva Sriha Bhurbhuvasvastraishan Marhantyam Pranidatmahe Nama Kritita Vaibhavai Punata Sri Jagajanam Kshetre Kale Chasurasmin Narata Samupasmahe Adimam Prithvinatham Adimam Nishparigram Adimam Tirthanatham Cha Rishabhaswaminam Stuma Arhantam Ajitam Vishwakamlakar Bhaskaram Amla Kevaladars Sankrant Jagadam Stuve Vishwa Bhavya Janarama Kulya Tulya Jentita Deshna Sameva Cha Sri Sambhava Jagatpateha Anekantam Tambodhi Samulasana Chandrama Dadhyad Mandamanandam Bhagwan Abhinandana Jusata Shana Gro Tejitam Grinakhavali Bhagwana Sumati Swami Tanatva Bhimatani Va Padma Prabha Prabodaya Bhasa Pushnantuva Shriyam Antarangari Matane Ko Patopadi Varuna Sri Supar Sujanendraya Mahendra Mahitam Gre Namaschatur Varna Sangha Gagana Bhoga Bhaswate Chandra Prabha Prabhas Chandra Marichini Yojvalla Murtir Murta Siddha Dhyana Nirmiteva Sriyestva Karamalakavadvisham Kalyana Kevala Shriya Achintya Mahatmanidhi Sudhibodhestva Sattvanam Parmananda Kandoda Bhedanavambuda Syadada Mruta Nishandi Sheetalapatu Vojina Bhavarogata Jantu Namakadankara Darshana Niyashreya Sasiramana Shreya Susresestva Vishwakar Ki Bhuta Tirthakrita Karma Nirmiti Sura Suranare Puja Vasu Puja Punantuva Vimala Swami Navachakatak Soda Sodara Jayanti Trijakacheto Jalanirmalhetva Swayamburamani Spari Karuna Rasvarina Ananta Jinantambaha Prayachatu Sukashriyam Kalpadhruma Sadharmanam Ishtaprapto Sharirinam Chaturdatharmadesam Dharmanatmuvasmaye Sudha Sotavek Jyotsna Nirmali Kritadamukha Mrigalakshmatama Shanti Shantinata Jinostuva Sri Kuntanato Bhagwan Sanato Tishyatibi Sura Sura Ninathani Mekanatastuva Shri Arnathastu Bhagwan Satutharma Bhoravi Satuta Purushata Sri Vilasamitanotva Sura Sura Naradhi Samayuranavaridam Karma Dhrunamullane Hasti Malam Male Mavishtumaha Jaganamaha Monidra Pratyusha Samayopamam Muni Suratanatha Desnavachanam Stumaha Luttanto Namatam Murdani Nirmalikara Karanam Variplaivaname Pantupadankanshva Yaduvansa Samundrendu Karma Kakshutasana Arisanimir Bhagwan Bhuya Dorishtanashana Kamthe Dranendre Chasochitam Karma Kurvati Prabhustulyamana Parsunata Shriestuva Srimate Viranathaya Snatha Kutashriya Mahananda Saroraj Maralerte Nama Krita Paradhe Pijane Kripa Mantratarayo Ishad Bashpara Dhrirabhadram श्रीवृजनेत्रयो जयति विजितान्य तेजा सुरासुरधीश सेवित श्रीमान विमलस्त्रा सवीरित स्तुभ त्रिभुवनाचलमणिर्भगवान् वीर सर्वसुरा सुरेन्द्र महितो वीरं बुधा संश्रिता वीरेणाभिहत स्वकर्मनिचयो वीराय नित्यं नमः वीरातीर्थमिदं प्रवृत्तमतुलं वीरस्य घोरं तपो वीरे श्रीधृतिकीर्तिकान्तिनिचय श्रीवीरभद्रं दिश अवनितलगतानां कृत्रिमाणां वरभवनगतानां दिव्यवैमानिकानां यमनुजकृतानां देवराजाचितानां जिनवरभवनानां भवतोऽहं नमामि सर्वेषां वेदसामाद्य माध्यमं परमेष्टिनां देवादिदेवं सर्वज्ञं श्रीवीरं प्रणिदद्मये देवो नेकभवाजितो जिन्मः पापप्रदीपानलो देव सिद्धिवधु विशाल हृदय लंकारहारोपम देवोस्तादसतोष सिन्दुर्घटा निर्भेद पंचाननो भव्यानां विदधातु वाञ्छितफलं श्रीवितरागो जिनः ख्यातोस्तापद पर्वतो गजपद समेत शिलाभिद श्रीमान रेवतक प्रसिद्ध महिमा शत्रुंजयो मंडप वैभार कनकाचलोर बुधगिरि श्री चित्रकूटादय स्तत्र श्री शुभादयो चिनवरा कुर्वन्तु वो मंगलम कुर्वन्तु वो मंगलम. So that was the prayer, Sakalarhat Stotra. Any questions before I carry on? Okay, so the actual, so what I'm now going to be going through is, if you went, I'm going to be sharing my screen here, but if you wanted to download the Sakalarhat Sutra with word-to-word English meaning, you could go to the website and download it for yourself. So now I'll just be sharing. So the starting word is, let me just 1 second. So Sakalarhat Pratisthana. So Sakal, the first word is Sakalarhat. Now Sakalarhat in Sanskrit, there is a stuff which is called Sandhi. Sandhi means to join. So Sakalarhat is made up of 2 words, Sakal and Arhat. Now, if you see, like when આપણે જ્યારે પર્યુષણ આવે છે, what do we say? Sakala sangne khamaviye che. So this is another thing that if you did not know what it meant, Sakal means all, the entire. So that's what Sakal means. And then Arhat is apna Aryan Bhagwan. Now, something which is quite unique, which I found out, is like if you look at any of our letters of our Hindi or Gujarati or Sanskrit, every single letter ends with a sound of a. So apne ke ka, kha, ga. So if you look at the end, the word a comes out for all of them. Da, ta, tha, pa, fa. The a is there in all the letters. It sort of, when you say it, the sound of a comes out. So there is actually a rule that if you wanted to join 2 words, Sakal and Arhat. So Sakal ends with the last word is la and a, because a comes out. So it's L-A, la. And the next word is Arhat, which begins with the word a. So to join the 2 words together, that's called as a dirg sandhi, dirg. And the rule of the dirg sandhi is that when you join the last a of the first word and the first a of the second word becomes a. So that's the reason why this becomes Sakalarhat, because you have joined the 2 words together, Sakalarhat. And so Sakal means all, Arhat means adorned by the celestial beings, and Pratishthan means basis of foundation. So Sakalarhat Pratisthanam. Now, what is also very interesting is that when we recite the words Sakalarhat, so like, for example, let me just go back to, yeah. So if I just went to the beginning here. So if you see how it is here, it says Sakalarhat Pratisthana Madhisthanam. So if you did not know the language, then you'd be going into a dictionary and saying, oh, what does pratistan mean? And then you'd be looking for what is madhistanam. So there is no word as madhistanam. So as you can see, what's happening is that the word is actually pratistanam, and the next word is adhistanam. But the way we say it, that this last ma is joined to this word here for ease of pronouncing. And if you see where this also comes, is for example, this comes in Namuthunam. Namuthunam આપણે કહે છે Namuthunam so if you say Namuttan Varindanam Bhagantanam Ayaganam Tithanam Sayam Samudhanam Purisuttamanam Purisasiyanam Purisarnariyanam Puris. Let me just sort of find the exact words 1 second. Namuthunam. Yeah, so we say Siva Mayala Marua Mananta Makkaya Mavaba. So do you see where in Namuthunam we say that? So it's not Mayala. So the ma, it goes to the previous word and it's ayal. So that's the reason why, like even when you look at Namuthunam, it's following the same thing. Sakalarhat Stotra Madhistanam. So that's the ma is belongs to the previous word, and the next word is adhistanam. So Sakalarhat Stotra Madhistanam Siva Shriya. So adhistan means abode or resting upon. Shiva means liberation, and Shriya means wealth or prosperity. And the next line is Bhur Bhuvasvastra Ishan. So Burlok means earth or south of the equator. So in this context, it means the lower of the nether world. If you know the Jain universe, it's divided into 3 parts: the hellish region, the middle world, and the upper where the devs and devis reside. So this is the nether world. The Bhuvarlok, region between the sun and the earth. In this context, it refers to the middle world. And Swarlok, आपने स्वर्ग में गया, स्वर्गवासी थिया. So that's a celestial world, heavenly region. And Tra Ishan. So Trai means 3, Trinity, and Ishan means Lord. And then Arhantyam Pranitatmaye. So now if you just went through the first line, so Sakalarhat Pratisthana, Madhistanam Shivashriya, Burvasvastra Marhantyam Pranitatmaye. So what does it mean? We meditate upon. So we saw that what Pranitatmaye means, meditation upon the Arihants who inherently have all the qualities of the Arhats. Now this is very interesting. So who are the Arihants? So Arihants was when Mahavir Bhagwan or Adeshwar Bhagwan, all the 24 Tirthankars who were, when actually they were on the earth and they had destroyed all their Ghati karmas, that's the time they started becoming called as Arihants. So when they got Keval Gnan. So that moment, so when Mahavir Bhagwan was a child, he was not an Arihant. When he took the Diksha, he was not an Arihant. Only at the time when he destroyed his 4 Ghati karmas, and at that time he got Keval Gnan, did he become Arihant. Because at that point, it is 100% guaranteed that he's going to destroy all his other karmas and go into Siddhashila. So Arihants have the qualities of Arihant. So because, for example, Mahavir Bhagwan, he has got a different mother, different father. Adeshwar Bhagwan had a different mother, different fathers. So those are all external qualities. But if you look at the internal qualities of all Arihants, they are the same. So who have all the inner qualities. So they've got Samta Bhav, they've got Samyak Drashti, they've got all the immense peace, So all these are kind of the qualities. They've got Darshagnan, Charitra Tap. So all these qualities the Arihants have. So we're meditating upon. So right now in the present time, Simanda Swami is an Arihant, and he's in a different universe, Mahavidya Kshetrama. And there are actually 20 Tirthankas right now there, Vis Viharman. So we're meditating upon the Arihants who, so there are 3 qualities of given. Arihants inherently have all the quality of the Arhats, are an abode of the wealth of liberation. Madhistanam Shiva Shriya, Shiva, as you can see, Shiva Shriya, the ultimate happiness. And are the lords of the upper, middle, and lower worlds. Tri Jagat, Tri Lokna Nath. So, hey Bhagwan, you are the Lord of the upper, middle, and the lower worlds. So that's the kind of the beginning, the first verse of the Sakalarhat prayer. Any questions, or should I just carry on? Okay. The next verse is Nama Kriti Dravya Bhave Punata Stri Jagajanam Kshetre Kalecha Sarasmin Narata Samupasmahe. So let's look at the meaning. So we've seen this. So Arantyam Pranidadmahe. So Nama Kriti Dravya Bhave. So again, you can see here Nam, Akruti. So they are joined together, Dravya and Bhav. So what does this mean? Now, Nam, Akruti, Dravya, and Bhav. So these are 4 forms of Nikshep. And so in Jainism, as you know, we have got Anekantvad. Then there's, and if you go in deeper and deeper into some of the studies, then there's Saptabhangi. Then there is Nai. These are all kind of various kind of logical ways of how do you understand religion and how and points of views. So Nikshep is another way of investigating the truth. And there are 4 divisions of Nikshep: Nam, Akriti, Dhavya, and Bhav. So for example, you can say someone is called Mahavir. So I could be called Mahavir, you could be called Mahavir. So that's just by name. But it does not mean that we are Lord Mahavir. So Nam is just one part of it in investigating. So anyone could be called Mahavir right now. Then there's Akriti. So that's called a form, a picture of Mahavir or a murti of Mahavir. So that's called as Akriti. Then Dravya has got different meanings. Many people call Dravya also means substance. But in this context here, Dravya is essentially trying to show potentiality. So this is like what was in the past and what's in the future. So you could actually have called Mahavir, who was in the past, or you could be having a Mahavir who is going to be born in the future. So for example, we now know the names of the 24 Tirthankars who are going to be there in the next 24 Tirthankars. So when we recite their name, so they're not there right now. So we can say the name of the Avatar choice Tirthankars, we know their names, but then they're going to be in the future. Or we could be knowing the names of the 24 Tirthankars in the past. And Bhav means present. So who is at present right now? So Simandar Swami is a Tirthankar at the moment right now. So these are different ways of investigating the truth and its categories. So Nama Kriti Dravya Bhave Punata Stri Jagat Janam. So what does Punat mean? Punat means purify and cleanse. Tri Jagat. So we have seen that this is called 3 worlds, upper, middle, and lower worlds. And Jan means person, creature, or living being. Jan. So again, you can see that just by knowing these words here, there's so much commonality within our day-to-day use. Now, this is something interesting here. If you look at this, Punat Stri Jagat Janam. Why is there an S here? Stri Jagat Janam. And if you look at this, that this actually also comes in Bhaktamar Sutra. So આપણે કહે છે તુભ્યમ નમઃ ત્રિભુવનાત્રી હરાયનથ સ્ત્રીભુવનાત્રી તુભ્યમ નમઃ ત્રિભુવનાત્રી હરાયનથ તુભ્યમ નમઃ શિતિતલામલ ભૂષણાય તુભ્યમ નમઃ સ્ત્રી જગત પરમેશ્વરાય. So you can see the word sa is coming in. Now, to understand that in Sanskrit, like Punat has actually is called Punata, and then there's 2 dots at the end. And those 2 dots is called Visarg. And what does that Visarg mean? It gives you the sound of ha. Punatha. So that's how it's actually saying Punatha. So if at all there is 2 dots at the end, the sound of ha comes out. So that's called Punatha. And then you are joining this word Punat with Tri Jagat. So the rule is, again, these are all Sanskrit rules, that if the Visarg, the 2 dots at the end of the first word, is followed by a hard consonant, ta is known as a hard consonant. If you do the Sanskrit grammar, then you will learn that the ta is a hard consonant of the second word. Then the Visarg is replaced by the sibilant in the same phonetic family. So the ta, tha, and sa, they're all grouped together. So because this is the sibilant, the sa sound is here. Because there are different kinds of sa, sha, sha. So there are different kinds of sa. So this sa comes here. So then the combination becomes Punatha Stri Jagat Janam, because you remove the 2 dots, the ha sound, and you've joined it with the word Tri. So Punatha Stri Jagat Janam. So that's the reason why that S sound is coming in. And as you can see, and as I told you earlier, that when you learn this year, you can correlate it to what you can see in Bhaktama Stotra. So that's Punata Sri Jagajanam. Kshetre kale che sorasmin narata samupasmahe. So Kshetra. So Kshetra means place or location. Now, generally, we don't have time to go into kind of the details of the Sanskrit, but what happens is this is called Kshetre. So in Sanskrit, there are 7 different kinds of ways you can break this up. So nominative, vocative, accusative. So these are different ones. So Kshetre is actually what it means, that it's locative, in or on. And so generally what in Sanskrit is the endings are the very, very important. So for example, Ram, Rama. So if I want to say, I'm giving it to Ram, or this is for Ram, or this is, for example, I'm going with Ram. All these different ways of communication is just the ending can change. And that gives you the indication whether I'm going to, this is for Ram, or this is with Ram. So, and it all is to do with just how the ending is changing. So endings are very, very important. So in this Kshetre, so the word is Kshetra, but because it's Kshetre, which means it's a locative case. And locative case means implying in location. If it was a dative case, then it would be for, but for does not make sense, for location. So this is Kshetra. So Kshetre, Kale. Kal means time. And again, the locative case of Kal is Kale, implying at time. Sarva we have seen, which means all and everything. Now this is also very, very important. Cha. Cha means and. Now, where else have we seen this word cha coming up? For example, if you look at logos, logos ujjogare dhamma tithare jineriente kittesam chovisampi kevali ussava majyam cha vande sambhava mabhinam danam cha sumaim cha paumapam supasam jinam cha chandapaham vande suvihim cha. So all this cha means and. The word cha means and. So that's what it means. So for example, it means worship all arhats who in all spheres and at all times. So generally when we say and, like we say, I went and bought apple and mangoes. In Sanskrit, the word cha can come in any location. So you can say, it's like in Sanskrit, it would mean I went to the shop and bought apple, mangoes, and. So the word and can come after the two items which you went and bought. So Kshetre Kale Cha Sarvasmin Narata Samupasmaye. So Arhata, again, as you've seen. Now, this is also very important. Arhat means adored by the celestial beings, deserving respect, and it also refers to Arihant Bhagwan. So after Naukar Mantra Bole, many people say Namo Arihantanam, and quite a few other people say Namo Arahantanam. So Arihantanam means, Ari means enemies, and Hunt means destroys. And that somewhere could be quite puzzling. I mean, is our religion, when we believe in so much ahimsa, why does Arihant mean to destroy the enemies? And then again, then you realize that Arihant means to destroy your internal enemies, Krodh, Man, Maya. Because once when we destroy our internal enemies, that's the time we can destroy our karmas, and then we can then go into the Sitchila. So, but Arahant means adored by the celestial beings. So the adorable ones. Ke aaje Devlokna panj Indra Maharaj pan hoy, they themselves are also have got all these powers, they've got all this fame and glory, and yet they are the ones who are bowing down to Arihant Bhagwans. So the adorable ones. So that's called Arahat. And then Samupasmahe. So again, this is what made of 3 words: Sam, Upasan, and Mahe. Sam means proper. Upasan means worship or devotion. Literally, it means to sit near. Now, this is again very interesting. Like, where else a word would you say there's a word upasana? Is there? Does it make a sense? Like, is there any other word which you think that it's rhyming with this word? If you think of upwas, upwas keiro. So generally, we mean by upwas means I have not had any food. But if you look at the word, the and what this is called is etymology. Etymology is the study of the root of the words. Where did this word come from? What are the roots? And so, and the word upwas again comes from the similar root, which means to sit near. I have not had any food, and I'm going to be staying closer to my soul. So that's kind of the real essence of doing the upwas, that I've now cut out all food, and and now I've got, you're feeling much better, you're feeling lighter, and now is a time for self-introspection, to do all these spiritual activities. And that's kind of the upwas. And me means me or I. So let's look at now so we've now seen what each word means. So let's see how it all fits together in the verse. So, Nama kriti dave bhave punata sri jagajanam kshetre kale che saraswin narata samupasmahe. We properly worship the arahats by name, form, potentiality, who are in the past or who will be in the future, dravya, and actuality, who are actually the arhats right now. So Simandar Swami Bhagavan check all the other 20 Tirthankars in the Mahavidya Kshetra. Then who were in the past, will be in the future, or who are existing at the present, and who purify, and that means show the path to remove the karmic bondage and achieve liberation to the living beings of the three worlds in all locations and at all times. Bhagwan je chekle apne ke three jagat na nath che. They are the Tirthankars of all the three worlds. So they are the ones who are showing the path to all the living beings of all the three worlds, and in all locations and at all times. So that's what the that's what that means. So now we look at. So after these two introductory verses, we now begin our journey of venerating each of the 24 Tirthankars. So now each of those two lines will be for one particular Tirthankar. So first Adeshwar Bhagwan, then Ajitnath, then Sambhavnath Bhagwan, and all the way for the next 24 Tirthankars. So that's now. So now we are going into the journey of venerating each of the 24 Tirthankars. So now we look at the first one. Adimam Prithvinatha, Madimam Nishparigram, Adimam Tirthanatham cha Rishabhaswaminam Stumaha. So as you know, Adeshwar Bhagwan is also called Rishabdev Bhagwan. So his first name is Adinath Bhagwan. So Adi means first. Adim, the first, original, or the foremost. So we know that he's our first Tirthankar of the current time cycle. Now this is another one. For example, we say Prithvi. So the people from the north of India, or in Sanskrit, it will be Prithvi. Generally, as Gujaratis, we say Prithvi. So Pru or Pri. So they use the word E, and Gujaratis use the word Pru. So Prithvi or Prithvi means earth, and Nath means Lord, or master, or leader. Like Adinath, Sumtinath, Neminath. So we can see Lord, master, or leader. So the suffix Nath means Lord, master, or leader. So Adimam Prithvinatha, the first emperor or the ruler of the earth in the current time cycle. Adimam Nishparigraham. So again, Adimam means first. Nishparigraham. So what does Nish come from? Nirgat. Nirgat means to come out from, exit out of, gone away, departed. And Parigraha. Parigraha means attachment. And that's why one of our Mahavrats or Vrats is Aparigraha, which is the opposite of Parigraha. So Parigraha means attachment, possessions. Now Parigraha again means very, very interesting. What does Parigraha comes from? It's actually a word of two words, Pari and Graha. Graha means to accumulate, to get. And Pari means from all sides. Let's look at some other words, like, for example, Parivar. So Parivar means all my relations. Or we can say Paristiti. So from all situations. Or we can say Pariksha. I'm going to be examined from everything, from all angles, from all what I've learned. I'm going to be tested on Pariksha. So Pari means from all sides, and Graha means to acquire, accumulate. And that is actually quite relevant in today's day and age. Look at our capitalistic society right now. If you go to the shopping center or malls, we just want everything. Our cupboards and our houses are full of everything, and yet we just want to accumulate. And this is the kind of the fate of the society right now. People just want more and more. So that's what Parigraha means. And Nirgat means to get out of this. So thus, one who's freed themselves from all attachments is an ascet. So can you imagine, this is such a nice way of describing Adyam Nishparigram. It's a long word, but it's trying to say the first ascetic or monk. So it's, in a way, it's saying it in an indirect manner, because the monks and nuns, they've given away all possessions. And that's why they are sadhu ne sadhvi kevai. So this is way of describing their qualities. Okay, they are the ones, Adimam, the first person who became a sadhu. Out of all the Tirthankars, he was the first Tirthankar, and therefore he is the first one who became a sadhu. So he's the first one, the first ascetic or monk. Adimam Tirthanatham cha. So cha means end. So, you're putting an end to all these three statements here. That Lord Rishabdev Bhagwan was the first ascetic, he was the first emperor, and he was the first Tirthankar. So the cha means end. And Adimam means first, and Tirtha means ford maker. And what does the ford maker mean? Tirthankar, what does that ford maker mean? Simplistically, it means like a bridge. It's like someone who's like a bridge. And what's a bridge from? We are in this sansar, the cycle of death and birth. Sansar mache. And we want to go into the Sitchila. We want to go into. So someone who is a Tirthankar, he helps us to cross this ocean of cycle of birth and death and go into the other end, which is the Sitchila. So that's a Tirthankar. Rishabha Swaminam Stumaha. So Rishabh is again his name, Adeshwar Bhagwan's name, Rishabha or Rushab. Swamin means master or lord, and Stumaha or Stavaha means praise or eulogize. So let's just look at. So what does it mean? Adimam Prithvinatha, what it means, we eulogize Lord Rishabdev, who was the first monarch, the first monk, and the first Tirthankar of the current time cycle. So this is a very nice stuti. Adeshwar Bhagwan Potas Barmache. So if you learn this is a nice, as you can see, it's in 2 lines. It's a verse. So this is a verse dedicated to Adeshwar Bhagwan. So the next one is Arhantam Ajitam Vishwa Kamlakara Bhaskaram Amla na Kevala Darsa Sankrata Jagadam Stuve. Sorry, I'm still just carrying on. I was told that people are more than happy to ask questions. So please do let me know if anyone's got any questions before I carry on.
I've not received any questions on the chat, Rajeev.
Okay, sorry, because I'm sharing my screen, I can't see the chats right now.
Yeah, that's fine. If anyone has any questions, just raise your hand and then we can unmute.
Okay, yeah. If you just let me know, Mira, then that'd be great.
Thanks.
Right. Okay, so if you look at the next one, Arhantam Ajitam. Arhant, as we can see, is worthy, deserving to be worshipped of Tirthankar, another name for Tirthankar, Ajitnath Bhagwan. So the next one is Ajittam. Vishwa Kamlakara Bhaskaram. Vishwa means living beings of the entire world. That's quite common. We call Vishwa. Kamlakara, abound with lotus plants, multitude of lotus flowers. If you go to a lake and there's so many lotus flowers inside, so that's called Kamlakar. And Bhaskar, sun. Now, if you just look at these 3 words here, it's quite difficult to say how can you actually make a meaning of this. And that's why it's very, very important to see that most of our Jain prayers, they are very poetic in nature. And there's a lot of implications behind them. So, for example, when you talk of spirituality is, you can't see things. I can't see my Atma. But what we have to do is we have to start using some analogy to understand something which we cannot see. So, similarly, in this, there's a lot of analogies given, and it's done in a very poetic way. So, let's look at how this is, because if you just were to read these 3 words here, you will say, okay, what am I meant to understand with these 3 words here? Living beings of the 3 worlds, lotus plants, and sun. What is the link? And then if you look at the meaning, just as the lotuses bloom when the sun rises, there is Surya uge che, there are lotus are khile che. The lotus they could be closed at night, and then when the sun rises, then the lotuses kind of open up. Similarly, living beings of the entire world get enlightened with the glory of the Tirthankars. So the living beings are compared to a collection of lotuses. After the lotuses lake mache, we are comparing the living beings to those. We are like the lotuses. And Tirthankar is compared to the sun. So when the sun arises, then the lotuses bloom. And so that's why this is how they are giving the analogy. Ajitnath Bhagwan when he was on the earth, that's a time when he sort of, he gave so much knowledge when he was preaching Deshnaptata to the people. And so what a beautiful analogy it's given. Vishwa Kamlakara Bhaskaram. And Bhaskari is actually sun. There are a lot of different words for the sun. And even if you look at the Bhaktamar Stotra, there are different Surya, Aditya. So all these different words, which are different analogies for the word sun. Amla na kela darsa Sankranta Jagatam Stuve. Amlan. Amal means clean, clear, bright, spotless, or pure. આપણે લોકસમાં પણ આવે છે વિહુરય મલ્લા. વિહુરય મલ્લા. So mal means dirty, but amal, so that's kind of the opposite, is clean, clear, or bright, or spotless, or pure. So as you can see that once when you go into the words, and if you understand this, there's just so much beauty. You can just see so much interlinks between the different prayers. Amlan, keval. Keval means infinite knowledge, keval gnan. So Keval Gnan is very, very important. There are 5 kinds of knowledges: Matiknan, Shuttavgnan, Avdhignan, Manhaparvignan, and Keval Gnan. Generally, we right now, we have got Matignan. So we've got and what does Matignan means? The knowledge of the senses and mind. I touch this, I get some knowledge. Shuttagnan is knowledge from the scriptures. Then Avdhignan means it's almost like you can see far away things. So what's happening in Porter's Bar right now, sitting here, I could be seeing what's happening at a distant place. So when people have got Adhignan and all devs and devis, so whoever is born in the celestial beings after Devlokma, or anyone who is born in the hellish beings, they all by default, by birth, are born with Avdhignan. In our world, many sadhus and sadhvis, or there could be some very spiritually elevated people, can get Avdhignan. And that Avdhignan, there's also different power of that Avdhignan. Some people can see up to this distance, some people can see up to very far distance. Or, for example, if I'm to see what's happening in Palitana right now, so if your Avdhignan is very powerful, you can start seeing, and that seeing is very, very, it's like if I can see you right now, you can see those things exactly the same way. So it's like literally that far away distance things is crystal clear to you, being in that distance away. So that's Avdhignan. Manha Parvignan means knowledge of the mind. What's going on in my mind? What's going on in your mind? So that's knowledge of the mind. And the last one is Keval Gnan. Keval Gnan means all knowledge of the past, present, and the future. And that's the ultimate. That's called omniscience. When our soul becomes totally pure, then we can get Keval Gnan. So Amla na Kevala Darsha. Amlan, Kevala Darsha. So Keval and Darsh is joined together. So Adarsh means mirror. So it's Keval and Adarsh. So it's mirror. Sankrant means reflected. Jagat means entire universe, and Stava means praise or eulogize. So what does this line mean? I eulogize Lord Ajitnath, whose pure omniscience is like a mirror in which the entire universe is reflected. So they give an example. What is Kevaldan Kivitnache? What is like Kevaldan? How do we understand what Kevaldan means? It's like a mirror. After mirror same joe, exactly you got the full knowledge. You can see everything crystal clear. Exactly how I look like, what it is. It's absolutely clear. So omniscience means it's like a mirror in which the entire universe is reflected. Not only the knowledge of me, knowledge of all the entire living beings of the past, the present, and the future. So you got all the knowledge. And so that's what Keval Gnan is. So Bhagwan ne keche, that's another quality of Lord Ajitnath Bhagwan. Vishwa Bhavya Janarama Kulya Tulya Jentita Deshna Samaya Vacha. Okay, so this is the next one. So let me Ajantam Ajitam Vishwakarma Bhaskam Amlana Kevala Dasan comes to way. Yeah, okay. So now we go to the third Tirthankar. Vishwa Bhavya Janaram Kulya Tulya Jentita Deshna Samaya Vacha Sri Sambhav Jagat Pateha. So Vishwa means again living beings of the entire world. Bhavya. આપણે ઘણી વાર કહે છે કે ભવ્ય આત્મા છે. So pious or capable soul of who can attain liberation. So, we hope that many of us will have many lives, but at one point, we all want to attain liberation. So those are called Bhavya Atma. Jana, we have seen in the past, it means people. Aram means, so you see again, it's very important, Aram. So that's why there's a line on top. It's Aram, garden. Kulya means irrigation channel. And Tulya means like, resembling, analogous or like. Jayanti means achieve victory. Deshna means religious discourse. Bhagwan Deshna ape samay at the time of. Vachas means speech, words, advice. You can see ajwa vache che ke vachan. Vachan means word, speech. So again, you can see the link there. Shri. So Shri is very important. Prosperity, fortune, auspicious, glory. It's an honorific prefix to a name. If you remember, in the olden days, we used to have A letters, blue color A letters. And our grandparents, when they were sending these letters, they always used to write Shri Magan Bhai, Shri Chakan Bhai, Shri Kanti Bhai. So Shri. So that was always, when if it was a lady, it would be Srimati. So that is an honorific prefix to a name. But generally what Shri means, prosperity, fortune, auspicious, glory. So that's what kind of Shri means. Sambhav means third Tirthankar, and Jagatpati, Lord of the universe, supreme deity. So what does this verse mean? During Lord Sambhavnath's discourse, all worthy souls of the entire world are assisted to attain victory in the form of liberation, just as an irrigation channel enables a garden to flourish. So this is quite important to realize that, so for example, in Dubai, it's kind of a desert area, but because there are irrigation channels underground, you can see beautiful trees growing. So what they're saying is, Bhagwan Sambhavnath Bhagwan discourse che, all the worthy souls, Bhavya Atma of the entire world, they are attained, they are assisted. Bhagwan apne deshna sapre sambre che, deshna sambre che, his words, we are listening to his words in the Samvasaran. And once when you're listening to his words, we are assisted to attain victory. By listening to that, we will be, so just as the garden is flourishing because of the irrigation channel, the irrigation channel is almost like the Bhagwani Deshna, his words coming out. And then we will be attaining victory. So again, can you see how the links are? That how they are linking the irrigation channel, the garden, and then linking it to Lord Sambhavnath's discourse. Now, what's also very important here is, like, whenever we are doing these comparisons, so you can say that this comparison is for Lord Sambhavnath. But because we went in the first verse, we said all of them are arhats, and all of them have got the qualities of arhants. So what that means, if I'm saying that, say for example, I said Lord Ajitnath Bhagwan has got Keval Gnan. So it does not mean Lord Ajitnath has got Keval Gnan. All the 24, that's applicable to all the 24 Tirthankars. Although in this verse, it's coming for Ajitnath Bhagwan, then it is still applicable to all the Tirthankars, because that's all common to all of them. Apne yahan kidhu che ke Sambhavnath Bhagwan ni Deshna. So it's not only the Sambhavnath Bhagwan ni Deshna, Adesh Bhagwan ni Deshna, Shantinath Bhagwan ni, Neminath, Parshvanath, so these general qualities are applicable to all the Tirthankars. So that's again a beauty. It's coming for just one Tirthankar here, Sambhavnath, but then whatever is being described or given an analogy for, it's applicable to all the 24 Tirthankars. And again, Tulya is quite important. If you see Tulna, do you remember in the olden days we had this balance, and people used to the shak bhaji levave, so it's called Tulna. So it's almost like resembling, and you want to measure that it's the same weight. So now we're going to the fourth Tirthankar. This is the Abhinandan Swami. Anekantam Anekan Matam Bodhi Samula Asra Chandrama Dadhyadamandamanandam Bhagwan Abhinandanaha. So Anekant. So this is a very, very important principle of Jainism, and what it means is multiplicity of viewpoints, non-absolute statement. So you can, if you just say Anya rat chej. So, and this is the truth. This is the only truth. You cannot have that absolute statement, because whilst it is night here, in the opposite part of the world, it's going to be daytime. So you cannot be speaking to someone and saying the only truth is that it is earth. This is nighttime in the earth. No, it is nighttime where you are from a certain viewpoint. But you cannot say it is just nighttime. That is the only truth. It is night. That statement is false. You have to say it is night here in this location here where I'm right now, but in another location it could be daytime. Total opposite. I mean, I don't have time to discuss it now, but my personal understanding and rendering of Anekant is you cannot take something which is not a fundamental principle and call it truth. So, for example, a common argument saying, okay, when you're having a general discussion, to kill, someone says to kill is good and someone else says to kill is bad. So you can't then say, oh, yeah, from his point of view, killing is good. Let me agree with him. Killing fundamentally is not right. To hurt someone is fundamentally wrong. So you cannot say, if someone says, well, that's your point of view, you are okay to have that point of view. Not that I can agree with that point of view. If you want to hold it, that's fine with it. So with that point of view, you cannot start agreeing to that point of view. But you at the same time saying, look, abicharo agnanche and knowledge not made, and he still thinks that killing is actually a good thing to do. So you can sympathize with it, but you cannot agree with that statement. So you can only agree with statements which are true. And in that true statements, you can have different perspectives. And a very classic example given in our scriptures is that of an elephant. Okay, there are 6 blind people and they're all touching an elephant. So someone is saying, okay, and they're saying, okay, they're all blind. So what happens is that someone touches the trunk and saying, oh, the elephant is like a rope. Someone touches the ears. We say, oh, supra jewa che. Supra dust pen jewa che. So okay, someone touches the stomach. So because they're all blind and they're describing the elephant, each of the description is relatively true, because they're describing, if you look at it in the whole perspective, in its entirety, then you can say, oh, elephant no, apan satuche. But because they're blind people and each one of is holding a certain part of the elephant, then they're just right from their particular perspective. It's not the whole viewpoint. But if you look at it in the entirety, then you can see the multiplicity of viewpoints. So this is saying, okay, Anekant mat. Mat means point of view. Te is in the form of ambodhi, ocean, which means literally receptacle of water. Sam means proper, full, or complete. Ulasit means delight, rejoice, move to and fro. Chandrama, moon. Dadati, to give or bestow. Again, as you can see, dadati, the word dan, dan apuchu, that comes from this same root. Dadati, to give. Anand means bliss, joy, pleasure, happiness. And amand, excessive, great or ultimate. And you see, when you're reciting this prayer in this language here, the play of words is so beautiful. Anekantam tam bodhi, samula asana chandrama, dadhyadamandam anandam. You see, dadhyadamandam anandam. So because the words are very, very similarly rhyming, it's such a nice, so I'm giving excessive joy, excessive pleasure, ultimate joy, ultimate bliss. Dadhyadamandam anandam. Bhagwan means God, and Abhinandan means the 4th Tirthankar. So let's see what the entire verse means. Just as the moon causes delightful tides in an ocean, the tides coming in and out. So again, ullasit, moving to and fro, the tides. Just as the moon causes delightful tides in an ocean, compared, and this is compared to the doctrine of Anekantvad, may Lord Abhinandan bestow us ultimate bliss. So that's the ultimate bliss, blessings ape. So it's 9:05. I'll just do 2 more verses and then I can stop for any questions. Dyusata kirita shana gro tejitam dina khavali Bhagwana Sumati Swami Tanatto Bimatani Vaha. Now, if you look at this word here, Dyusat, let me see if I can just get the okay, I can't seem to be getting the pointer. But if you look at Dyusat, the first word here, in where my mouse is pointing. This is called as halant. I mentioned to you that all the alphabets have got, they end in the word ka, ka. The halant means you cut off the sound. So yusat. So you are, otherwise, if this was not there, you'd be pronouncing this as yusata. The comes out, but you want to remove the sound, so it's called yusat. So you want to cut off that sound. So that's called a halant, that line at the bottom. Again, it's very important that if you're learning this prayer, this is ki and this is ra, and the line on top is on the right hand side, which means kirita. It's e, long. So it's Dusata Kirita Shanagro. So that's why you can see here, I've called it Kirita. If it was just a single, I would have written it as Kirita, Kirit. But this is Dusata Kirita Shanagro. So that one gives you the emphasis, the long one. So Dushat means God, deity, heavenly or celestial beings. Kirit means crown or crest. Mugat ke na apne. Shan, grindstone or whetstone. Agra means top, tip, front or the forepart. Uttejit, sharpened or polished. Angri means foot. And nak means nail. So that's again, we know. Avali. So avali, row, line or series. So interesting here, avali. We just celebrated a festival recently, and you can see where the word comes of Deepavali. So deep is one word, and avali means row, line or series. So deepa. So deepa means it ends with an and this starts with avali. So plus again the rule becomes a. So Deepavali. And so what does Deepavali mean? So one of the meanings of Deepavali is a series of diva or a row of lamps or lights. Deepavali. Bhagwan, God. Sumati, the fifth Tirthankar. Swami means Master Lord. Tanoti, render, provide or give or fulfill. Abhimat means desired or wished. And Vaha. So what does this mean? All your desires are fulfilled by Bhagwan Sumti Swami, whose toenails are shining as a result of the forefront of the crowns of the myriads of heavenly celestial beings going down to Sumtinath Bhagwan. So it's quite amazing here. આપણે કે છે કે ભગવાન સુમતીનાથ ભગવાનના જે toenails છે, they are now actually shining so much because all the devis from the Devlokમાંથી આવ્યા છે, and many of them, and all of them, and they are wearing a crown or a mugat on their heads, and each one of them is bowing down to Bhagwan. And you can imagine that Bhagwan, Dev-Devios na બધા જે મુગટ જે હોય, they must be having so many jewels that it actually must be shining. So આટલા બધા ભગવાનને વંદન કરે છે, ને ઈ વંદન કરવાથી ભગવાન toenails is actually shining. Now what I've actually written here is Lord Sumtinath's toenails would be shining on their own accord. ભગવાન તો ત્રિલોકના નાથ છે. So even if there was no Devis, the body of the Lord must be so resplendent that there must be such a brilliant body they must be having. So you don't need the Devis to bow down for the nails to actually shine. However, the poet is imagining that all these heavenly celestial beings are bowing down to the Lord, and the front part of their crowns, using an analogy of the grindstone, get polished and shine as they bow down to the Lord. So ભગવાનને નખ જે છે, it's like a grindstone, like a stone. And જે દેવદેવીઓ એને જે પગે લાગે છે, they're almost like getting polished. They're just hitting or being scrubbed against the toenails of Bhagwan's. Shine થાય છે. So that's why you can see here shan, grindstone or whetstone. It's given here, and you can see the top or the tip. So the top part of the foot. So the nails are actually. So this is an analogy which the poet is giving. Acharya Hemchandra. કેવી રીતના બધા દેવ દેવીઓને વંદન કરીને ભગવાનના નખ is actually shining. So Padma Prabha Prabhor Deha Bhasha Pushnantu Vaha Shriyam Antaranga Rimatane Kopa Topa Divaruna. So let's look. Padma Prabhu, he's the sixth Tirthankar. Prabhu, so Lord Master. So the genitive case is Prabhu. So Lord Padma Prabhus. So genitive means okay, this belongs to me. That's a genitive case. Amaru che. So this is Rajiv's computer, Rajiv's phone. So then you can say Lord. So that's called a genitive case. So that becomes Prabho. So now what's happening here is when the visarg means the two dots, is followed by a soft consonant, the visarg is transformed into R. So the word is Prabhoha. So you see it's Prabho, and the two dots becomes Prabhoha, and then Deha. So you can see the words here. Prabhor Deha. This one here. Prabhor Deha. This word here. Prabhor Deha. And you can see a list of soft consonants here. So the da is highlighted here. This is the soft consonants. The hard consonants are ta, the. So these are the hard consonants. So the rule is that if the visarg is followed by a soft consonant, then you have to remove the visarg and instead you take that out and you insert an R in brother. So that's how this becomes Prabhor Deha. You can see this Prabhor, and then you can see this small flick. That's an R. Prabhor Deha. Bhasa means shining or luster. Pushan means growth, increase or gain. And Vaha means to you. Shriya means wealth, implying spiritual wealth. Antarang, internal, own or inner. Ari means enemy. We have seen Arihant. So Ari means enemy, and Hant means to destroy. So Ari means to enemy. Mat means to destroy, eradicate, annihilate. Kop means anger. Atop, spreading, expanding, excitement, intense, like intense anger. So kopa topa. Eva means like a comparison. And Aruna, a lot of people have got the word Aruna, the word Aruna. Ladies, they've got Aruna. Aruna means red, color of the morning twilight, sunrise, sadotyare. So that's Arun. So now, one thing to understand, our Tirthankars have got different colors associated with them. So, for example, Parshvanath Bhagwan is associated with green color. Neminath Bhagwan is with black color. Padma Prabhu Bhagwan is associated with red color. So this is again kind of see how the poet has linked to Padma Prabhu Bhagwan's kind of color, which is red. So it says, to annihilate the inner enemies, Bhagwan Padma Prabhu's body becomes reddish, akin to someone who is in the rage of anger. Can you see this kind of the links? That someone who is in a rage of anger. So apne jare anger thaye, so we will become red, face will become red, the body will become red. But and so they are saying that Lord Bhagwan's Padma Prabhu Bhagwan's body, he's become red. So to describe that red, he's giving this analogy of someone who is seething with anger. But then the poet is now saying that Bhagwan's body is red, but then and he's associating that red color to annihilate the inner enemies. આપણે જે ગુસ્સો કરીએ with sitting anger, what we will be doing? We will be accumulating karmas. We will be gathering more karmas. મને આજે ક્રોધ આવી ગયો. So therefore I have now accumulated negative karmas because of my anger. But now Padma Prabhu Bhagwan's skin is associated to remove the karmas, to annihilate the inner enemies. Padma Prabhu Bhagwan's body has become reddish. So કેટલું opposite છે. If he became red, which means I become very angry, and I'm seething with anger, so I'm actually accumulating karmas. And here is the exact opposite. Bhagwan's red body is not because he's anger, but it's associated with annihilating the inner enemies. So the poet is beautifully linked with Bhagwan's body's reddish color, giving an analogy of someone who, how to describe the red. So the red is being described by someone who is seething with anger. And then, and giving kind of the opposite meaning, that we would be sitting in anger and accumulating karmas, but Bhagwan is destroying the karmas with kind of his reddish skin. May Lord Padma Prabhu's luster nourish you with your spiritual wealth. So that's like saying, hey Bhagwan, may he bless you with spiritual wealth. So I think this would be a convenient point to stop, and then we can carry on in the next week, same time. So I think at this time I can take any questions if anyone's got any.
Does anyone have any questions? Please raise your hands if you do. I've just got some feedback actually. Well, if anyone has any questions they can think of while we're waiting. One from Ashwin Gosrani says it's a very nice explanations and good talk. And one from Nilma is very interesting session and thank you.
Oh, thank you very much for that. Much appreciated.
I think we have a question from Bijal.
Yes, Bijal.
Pranam, Rajeev Bhai.
Pranam.
Just a small, when you mentioned about the stri, how it changes with the S.
Yeah.
Is that the same in the Mutti Shanti as well?
Yes, yes.
So it's not referring to a female, it's just the Sanskrit.
Exactly, yeah. It's not stri, yeah. It's not stri, it's not female. It's a Sanskrit rule.
Okay, brilliant. Thank you.
And it's a wonderful question to be asked, because as you can see, by just learning this one thing, you're now associating with other prayers. So, and this actually gives me joy, because it's exactly the point of learning these prayers, that once when you learn certain things, and that's actually how I myself became so interested and started learning more prayers and seeing the links and the correlations going on. So I think that's wonderful. Brilliant question. Thank you.
Actually, yeah, it is interesting, because throughout what you've said today, we can see in different things that I've learned, certainly, that the similarities or the correlation, as you said. Yeah, no, thank you very much. It's very interesting.
You're welcome. Thank you.
I received a question from Darshna.
Yeah.
She's asking, what is the easiest way to learn each verse given the complexity of the words?
Right. So I think one of the best ways to learn these prayers, and any prayers, whether you're going to learn Bhaktamar or Kalyan Mandir or any other prayers, one is actually, I personally find it much easier rather than English translation. If you know Gujarati or if you know Hindi, then it makes it much easier, because many times you do not know whether it's and then you actually go to the Gujarati text, and then you can say, oh yeah, this is what it is. So you would do a verse at a time. And if you, if you went into the website, I've done a recording myself, but of all the sources. But there are also, if you go to the internet, there are so many other people who have done some very melodious recordings. And so what you would be doing is, like right now, I'm in the process of learning Kalyan Mandir. So I only got a few verses. So what you want to do is take one verse at a time, and then just keep on playing that back and forth, that one verse. And then you see, okay, this is the right pronunciation I've got. I can see the text here, and now you can see the meaning. So that gives you more power. But that's only the way you can do it. You learn verse 1, then you learn verse 1 and 2, and then I repeat verse 1 and 2 every time until I know, okay, 1 and 2 is now memorized, and then you just keep on going on. But I think that the key thing here is kind of daily practice. Otherwise, the younger you are, the quicker you learn. So, for example, my son, he learned this Sakalarhat Stotra when he was about 5 or 6 years old. He learned the entire sutra. So it took him much. In fact, that's the time when I learned, because I was trying to teach him, and he learned it much quicker than what I could learn. But every day you'd be just reciting the sutras whilst I was going to drop him to school. But yeah, I think that's basically one of the best ways to learn is daily practice. Just get a text in front of you, see how it's pronounced. Take one verse at a time, see how it's pronounced, and then just start spending 15, 20, half an hour every day just memorizing it.
Thank you, Rajeev Bhai. I think we'll end the session now. There's no further questions. I've just received just one other comment just to say thank you very much, Rajeev Bhai. This session was very refreshing and made things real.
No, thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Thank you. We'll continue next week. For anyone who hasn't joined the WhatsApp group, there's a WhatsApp group for the class. If you would, you should have received an email with the link to the Zoom call there should also be a link to the WhatsApp group as well. So please do join the WhatsApp group for more information for next week's lessons and any future lessons as well. So we'll conclude here. So thank you, Rajeev, and we'll see you next week.
Thank you.
Thank
Jai
you.
Jinendra.
Jai Jinendra.
Pranam, thank you very much.
सकल विश्वना नाथ हे प्रभु शरण आवियो आबाळता हरो अधिक बुद्धि तू शुद्ध आपजे प्रभु कृपा करी कष्ट कापजे नव कदी करी भक्ति भाव थी नव कथा सुनी निज कान थी स्मरण ना कर्યું તેમ તાહરું નાથ ભલું થશે કેમ માહરું गरीब रंकने दुख आपिया तरु सुधर्मना देह कापिया अधिक लोभनी लालचे फसी फिकर ना धरी चित्त मा कशी कथन कई कूड़ा वचन नीतिना सर्व विसर्या करवडे कदी धर्म ना कर्या पण अधर्मना कोथळा भर्या जगतनाथ हूँ डर्यो नहीं जरे अनेक पाप में संसार मां कर्या चरण थी कदी चाली ना गयो प्रभु सुपंथ मां दूर तो रह्यो चरण पाप ने पंथ तो धर्यो दीन विषे नहीं ते थकी डर्यो छल प्रपंच ने धूर्त काम नव कदी मुकी ओ छाप हाम अधम जातनो प्राणी हूँ खरो प्रभु तू थी रह्यो सर्वदा परो कर गमे तने जे प्रभु हवे अहीं बळुं छूं पाप संताप मां दुख थी दूरे नाथ जी करो अर्ज बाळनी दिल मां धरो सकळ विश्वना नाथ हे प्रभु शरण आवियो